Hello guys, the History Builder here, and today we're going to examine and look at the Battle of Tours, or some people call it the Battle of Poitiers. This battle was a destructive battle that kicked out the Ottoman army. This occurred and was in France, present-day France, and it occurred in the year AD 732, when Charles hammered out the Ottoman threat. As you can see on the map, there's an area we shall call the Duchy of Aquitaine. This was given to Duke Eudo by Charles the Hammer, or we shall say Martel. This map is obviously for the later 700s, but we shall understand that this is technically a map of the empire at this time. The Duchy of Aquitaine over there, as you can see, is obviously part of the empire at this time. But before that, in 732 AD, it was an empire, a kingdom, given to Duke Eudo because he wanted to split, and so he created the Duchy of Aquitaine. Gascony was also part of the Duchy of Aquitaine, and as the Emirate of Cordova was taken over by the Ottomans. It used to be the Visigoth Empire, and the almost direct descendant from the Visigoth Empire is not the Emirate of Cordova, but the Kingdom of Austria. It was an empire which many mountains were, and nobody could get to it. As you can see, there is a battle marker on Poitiers. I presume that this is technically correct and technically not. I like to say that this battle is the Battle of Tours, not the Battle of Poitiers, because Tours is more frequently used, and Poitiers does not seem like that right of a choice. The Emirate of Cordova was under Ottoman control as they stormed and destroyed the Visigoth Empire in the year 711 AD. In essence, this was an okay thing, because nobody really cared about the Visigoth Empire. So it didn't really matter to anybody that much. But for the Franks, this was bad, really bad. This is because the Ottomans could now easily storm on their empire, crushing them and destroying them. And this is almost what could have happened in the Battle of Poitiers. Let's take a closer look at the map. But before I do, I'm going to say that the Empire of Charles was not as big as Charlemagne. Abdul al-Rahman's forces had finally caught up to the Franks after defeating Duke Eudo in the Duchy of Aquitaine. The Frankish forces knew that this would be a destructive battle, as it was fought between two rivers, one of them the River Clain, the other the River Vienne. The battle was about to begin. Abdul al-Rahman's forces were being attacked by the Franks. Charles' forces were flanking their left, and you can see that they're being inevitably crushed. And they are, you see Duke Eudo's forces in the far left, or the far north. You see that they are now attacking the camp. A distraction to get the cavalry away, and this works. The cavalry go, and the remaining cavalry is probably destroyed at this point. They rescue all their valuables, and yes, that is true. All of them are destroyed, and they retreat, and the battle is inevitably over. Charles has won. The battle was brutal, but as we can see, Charles the Hammer has won, and Duke Eudo has retained his Duchy of Aquitaine. This is a more accurate map, which I have devised myself, unlike the Charlemagne one. And as you can see, Abdul al-Rahman is dead, and two of his units, as you can see, are dead, and approximately 2,500 men were on the Umayyads, and 12,000 perished. And on the other side, a bit less force, about 20,000, and about 5,000 men perished. Only a few thousand compared to the other ones. The battle was a great battle for Charles. Actually, 5,000. Charles had won, and Charles had made his claim The battle is inevitably called the Battle of Tours, but in French it's called Poitiers because it's French. The battle was very destructive, and I think, in my opinion, the only reason the Franks won is not just because of their infantry units, but because with the help of Duke Odo. Duke Odo had not stepped in, they would have been crushed, as the battle had lasted a week. But the skirmishes had been going on for a week before. This battle was a very long one, if you can count the. It had been very destructive, as it had just lasted a day. And yes, this is the History Builder saying goodbye, and I'll see you in the next amazing historical video. Make sure to check out my website, subscribe, and like, and hit the bell icon for notifications on more future videos. Goodbye.